Yeah, now you got it. I really
All right.
don't want to have to sit up,
I've got it started. Okay. Well, we slouch. So, my name is Casey. I'm Danelle's daughter. And I know she looks terrified.
I am
But
terrified.
I promised I would do the introduction this week. Since it was supposed to be last
I
week.
forgot last week.
She forgot last week. She told me Monday morning. So I told her that's okay. I'll introduce it next week and say, well, this video is about the art of procrastination. Because, yeah, it doesn't even have anything to do with the fact that this took her 4 months to write.
Just a little bit.
But she's going to tell you, and we are going to tell you, I'm going to chime in here and there, about our beliefs. Just a little bit. Just touching on the edge of a little bit of everything.
Overview.
Overview, yeah.
It actually didn't take me 4 months to write. I wrote it in a night.
So it took you 4 months to get around to getting started on the videos.
Doing this, yes.
That's okay, because I still haven't started my woodworking
I remember
videos.
I was riding home with Grandpa one night about 3.5 months ago.
Okay.
He was driving, and I just heard myself giving this speech, as if I was listening to myself give it on TV.
Nice.
I remember coming home and repeating it to you, reciting it pretty much.
Yeah, I remember you
as
telling
I
me.
recalled it.
And I was kind of just like,
home.
I've heard all of this before, Mom. I know.
I know. But I had to say it because it reinforced in my mind. And then I went ahead and wrote it down. I was at least smart enough to do that.
That's good.
And then
you often forget to do that.
I filed it and stored it and forgot about it.
You're good at that too.
Okay. So this was actually supposed to be my first
video
yeah. for Middle Ground Ministries. And when I made the video 2 weeks ago, I totally forgot that I had this written.
But that's okay. It kind of
so I just winged it. I remembered I needed to come out with something. I wanted to launch in January of 2015, so that was my last week to do it. And then
your last day to do it.
And then last weekend came and went, and I totally didn't think about it until 2:30 in the morning.
That's okay, because you know what? Now we can say Happy Valentine's Day, even though you won't watch it till tomorrow.
Right.
But we're still going to say Happy Valentine's Day.
All right. So what I have to say here may offend some, and I would like to apologize for that ahead of time. But I'm willing to bet for the vast majority out there that what I have to say will bring some comfort. See, I've always hesitated to call myself a Christian, even though I wanted so badly to fit in.
I didn't.
I simply like to call myself a realist because I accept the world for the way it is. I study the ways of its workings and recognize science as a tool God provided for us to figure it all out. Hey, Bill.
Can't help but love the little helpers.
I believe in evolution. I never could accept the poof, here's man theory. I just can't buy into the fairy tales of the Bible.
Although they are good.
I don't believe that a book should be revered or considered sacred because it's an object made by men, and therefore it's prone to error.
As we all are.
But I do consider it a great work of art, which is worthy of respect. It teaches many wonderful lessons and contains much wisdom. It's a beautiful writing, but there are simply too many contradictions therein for it to be taken literally. I do not believe that Jesus was God incarnate, nor do I believe that Jesus was the Son of God any more than I am his daughter.
And any of us are.
But I do believe that he was sent here to do great things. He had a mission to fulfill, and he did it with grace and dignity.
As did others before him, but that'll be a whole nother video.
Right, and many others in other cultures.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he was sent here to show us our salvation, not to give it. Mm-hmm. And I don't believe that anyone has to accept him into their hearts to be able to get into heaven. I think we all go to the same place when we die, regardless of what we think, or do, or don't do while we are here. I do not believe in afterlife punishment other than having to come back and do it all again.
I've always said life is hell.
I simply don't believe in hellfire and damnation. I think in a metaphorical sense, life is hell. So I obviously believe in reincarnation. I think some of us were dinosaurs once. That we've lived many times before and will live many times again before we achieve that state of enlightenment that God wants us to have, self-awareness.
You never know, though. I think maybe all of the spirits that were within the dinosaurs have already achieved that self-awareness.
Possibly.
Probably went back and remained with God. But who knows? I think you get the choice if you want to start over
I
again.
don't know. I think I was a dinosaur.
That's my theory. Well, then you've just taken a real long time to get there,
To learn.
haven't you?
It's taken me a while to learn. It's because
push that reset
I
button
was
a couple
resisting.
times. Yeah, I know. He's had to swallow you with a whale a couple times.
Oh,
Like
all
I
right.
said, we like the Bible stories.
So once we achieve that self-awareness, though, then and only then can we rest, reaching a state of nirvana or everlasting peace.
Cloud 9.
I do believe there is some time between lifetimes. So far as I understand it, God recycles souls every 200 to 300 years.
Love John Edwards.
Yes, John Edward. And I believe that we remain within the same circle, lifetime after lifetime. So
Or at least somewhere around
those
it.
we remain close to the souls that we've resided with before or had close interaction with in other lifetimes. Like when you meet someone and feel as if you already know them or just instantly click, I think it's because you already met them in a previous lifetime. I believe there are old souls and young souls and new souls being created all the time to fill all these bodies we are producing on this earth.
And I know I mentioned this earlier, but I have to say it for the video. There has to be. I mean, come on. 40 years ago, there were 2 billion people on this world.
And
Now there's almost
7
8
billion.
Almost
plus.
8.
Yes.
So,
Increasing very
like-
faster every year.
Yeah.
So I'm sure new souls are being
There's got to be
made.
a lot of new souls on this world, and that probably
same
has
rate.
to do with the fact that this world is going so cuckoo because there's all these little baby young souls, infant souls that don't know
that
what
don't
in
know
the
what
world
they're
to
doing,
do.
and they're going crazy here in this
And they're going crazy.
confusing world.
Because nobody's there to lead them.
Yeah.
Or at least very few people are there to lead them.
That makes sense.
It does.
So I've always felt like I was a very old soul.
Me too.
That's why I said I think I was a dinosaur once. I really do.
I don't think my soul is that old, but
Okay, so I'm not saying I'm there yet, but I think I'm close. So I feel an urging to pass my wisdom on to new generations, and that's why I started Middle Ground Ministries. I've always believed there was a middle ground in everything we do and everything we believe. No religion has it all right, but no religion has it all wrong either.
absolutely.
And in the same respect, I'm positive atheists don't have it all right, but I don't think they have it all wrong either.
Sadly.
The answer lies somewhere in the middle of these two extremes. And realism, as I like to call it, I believe is the middle ground. God is real. That's the one thing I know. And I know that for a fact because, well, he speaks to me. And he has all my life. And I never told anyone that up until about 12 years ago. And then I only opened up to a select few who were very close to me. But it was at that point that I knew I could not keep him to myself any longer.
And I'm glad she didn't.
He brought me to a breaking point, literally, and forced me to talk about him. Before that, it was just me and him, and I liked it that way. As a child, he was my invisible friend. So no one questioned why I was talking to someone who wasn't there. I used to argue with him when he would tell me that I would speak with him one day. I told him, no, I'm not. There was no way I was going to get up behind a pulpit, speak to all those people looking up at me. The thought simply terrified me, and it still does.
As you can tell. But she's getting better.
So I resisted as long as I could. But when God wants you to do something, he finds a way to make it happen. That's not to say we don't have free will. But I know life definitely gets harder when you ignore his urging.
Yeah, and it gets easier.
Not that my life is easy yet, but it's getting easier.
He finds a way to make us
I know
want.
I'm on the right path now.
Yeah.
I am getting constant reassurance, and in future videos, I will explain more about what I mean by that. There are several ways that God communicates with me, and I will do my best to share all of that with you over time. But for now, I want to tell you a little bit about what I believe our mission is and what I plan to do for the future, what I think God wants me to do. This is my pulpit. You, if you are watching me, are my congregation. Thankfully, I have no way of knowing how many of you that might be until it's too late for me to go back into hiding.
Or until you get used to it.
My plan is to try to produce one new video every week. I swear I'll get better at this. Bear with me. I'm going to touch on different topics, discussing how I believe God feels about it, and you can take what you want from it. I've done a lot of research over the years regarding the sciences. I've studied the Bible thoroughly and will talk quite a bit about that. Have specifically done comparative religion studies for the past 12 years, and I have a lifetime of experience to share. It is my belief that anyone can learn to communicate with God and hear Him if they truly want to. It just takes intense concentration sometimes. And I will do my best to teach you some techniques that may help you to make that connection. I believe that God would love to be in contact with each and every one of us. But the veil is so thick with some that without lifting on their part, He simply can't get through. I was 6 years old the first time I actually heard Him in a very soft, comforting voice. He told me, "Don't believe everything you hear. Take it with a grain of salt." I had no idea what these words meant, so I went and asked my mother, "What does take it with a grain of salt mean?" And after she told me, I understood. See, I was born and baptized in the Mormon church. And I always had a few misgivings about it.
We're not dissing, just saying.
I'll delve into that a lot more in future videos, but for now I'm going to say, so long. Until next time, take care, and may God bless you.
And please leave any comments or suggestions on future videos, because we'd like some topics to just sit down and talk about.
Thank you.
All right.